Talk. Talk. Talk to me Tuesday. Welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday on a Tuesday, Fat Tuesday. I'm your host, Mardi B, and I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in on this March 1st day. Today, we're going to celebrate Mardi Gras, which today is Fat Tuesday. I know a lot of you guys are probably super excited, as we are as well. So it's a new month, and you guys know what that means. It's also time to announce the heroic behavior at the end of today's show. I say at the end because we got to give other people a chance to still kind of get a chance to win. So no worries, we will announce the winner. So we want to welcome my favorite Louisiana native, Attorney Rochelle Guiton. Welcome to today's show.
And Mardi, thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm excited to have you. Look, we're in the spirit right now. Today's going to be a fun show. Although you're an attorney, we're not really going to talk about attorney talk today. We're going to talk about something fun, which is Mardi Gras and Fat Tuesday.
Good. It helps me celebrate a little bit today.
Yeah. So look, for those of them, those that are watching that have never met you before, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm from a small town in Louisiana and just born and bred there, and my whole family is still there. And it's two small towns that I would say that I would coin my hometown. It's called Ama, Louisiana, and Luling, Louisiana. And it's like one of those deals where you blink your eyes and you miss it. But when you're there is some just like down home, good, fun, loving people there. So I love where I'm from and the roots in which I came.
Yeah. And look, like for those that are watching, I want you guys to represent. If you're from Louisiana, give us a thumbs up, a comment, something so we know that you're here. Or if you're from any one of those towns that Rochelle just mentioned, also let us know because we want to make sure that we feel the love from you guys representing Louisiana. Now, Attorney Rochelle, I want you to kind of tell us, now that you're from Louisiana, you now live in Houston, Texas, so you're still not far, but you're also, as an attorney, licensed in Louisiana as well as Texas. So I want you to tell us, what does it mean to you, to your family, to your heart, to be licensed in the state of Louisiana where you're from?
It means everything to me. I went to school there. I graduated from Loyola University Law School, and Loyola had a really good, like, kind of split program for common law and civil law. And Louisiana, of course, the only state that has civil law. It's based on the Napoleonic Code. And so I made sure that I went both civil and common law tracks. And then I actually got licensed in Louisiana before I was licensed in Texas. And so it just was important to me because I felt like my family, my parents, my brother and my whole family has always been supportive of me and my dreams and my goals and things in my church, my churches from back home. And so being able to just, if I ever can offer advice to them and by way of, even just being helpful, making referrals or wherever it comes from, right? I'm really proud to be able to do that.
Yeah. And look, I want to quickly talk about this. I know you're also helping some native Louisiana individuals with a latest case, right, that you are working on. We're actually going to talk about this on next show, so you guys don't want to miss it. But for those that are watching, what's that case that you just felt like compelled to be a part of, to help, and your church, your community? Tell us just a little bit about it because we don't want to spill the beans for next show.
No, it's, just recently, August of this past year, 2001, and actually it was on the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. I believe it was August 29th, and it was Hurricane Ida hit. and my hometown and my home community was devastated. I could tear up just thinking about it, and it had not ever been hit, at least not from my recollection, been hit that hard. My parents even had damage, and it didn't get back into their home until recently. And so it's been rough for just the entire community and surrounding areas. And hopefully, we can offer some help to them. And, I know what that's like. I was in law school. I'd only been in law school for about 2 weeks when Hurricane Katrina hit and my home flooded in New Orleans. So my heart goes out to them. And I hope that, to bring it back to Mardi Gras, that this is, that they're able to still celebrate. And, I know that my hometown still had their parade, the Luling Parade, and, being able to keep those traditions alive and have a little bit of celebration and, during a time where I know that it's been rough for people to get back into their homes and get their everyday lives back to normal.
Yeah, Louisiana always has a tough season during hurricane season, right? Any parts of the southern coast, whether it's the front of the boot, the end of the boot. Louisiana is such a strong state, but different parts suffer in different times in different hurricanes. They're never the same. So my heart goes out to all of those that have been affected. But if you guys want some more information, you do not want to miss next show, because Attorney Rochelle Guiton will be here, as well as some other guests, and kind of talking about the details and all of that. And I think it's amazing because you guys are giving back to the community, and also for people to kind of, if they just never heard, also have a sense of hope of restoring some of their settlement compensation, stuff like that. So I think this is amazing. Don't want to miss next show. And on a lighter note, Louisiana is being represented everywhere. Today in particularly, because everyone knows about Fat Tuesday, but also Mardi Gras. Look, Attorney Rochelle, people have already started celebrating. I think even last week or 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere, right? So Louisiana is playing a role nationwide right now. And, like we just mentioned today, Mardi Gras, aka Fat Tuesday. So in your opinion, Rochelle, I know there's a lot of history here, but for those that are watching and maybe just not know what this is, they just wear the colors and they want beads and they just want to party, right? What exactly does Mardi Gras mean, and where did it come from, based upon what you know and your opinion?
Sure. I mean, so, I don't know that I can speak to all the, hard historical data around Mardi Gras, but just in a sense that it's, just a long-standing tradition of celebration. And yes, the colors are important, having the green, yellow, purple. I tried to have my, Mardi Gras colors on today, and you too. Yeah. So, having those colors and just the gathering of people. And sometimes, most times I would say that you're gathering with your friends and your family, but also just the community in general, right? And that everybody is just gathering at all these different parades that start as early as January and don't end until today. Mm-hmm. So just a time of celebration, and having fun and getting together and having balls and all the things. Yes.
Yeah, it's a good time. So look, I want to talk a little bit about some of those things that are done to celebrate the holidays. I also want to talk about your tradition that you normally do at your home, and you found a way to celebrate, in your own ways with your family. There's so many traditions, but what are some of the things that are done to celebrate this holiday?
Sure. I mean, so of course you have the parades, right? And it's not just in New Orleans, it's other areas, I know for sure in Louisiana. And then I think other areas like Galveston, they have Mardi Gras parades. And so I would say that's the biggest part of the celebration. But other things, you mentioned my tradition. So my tradition is, we have our Christmas tree up, and then I take down all of my Christmas decorations off the tree, and then I put up my Mardi Gras. And I have similar things like beads and feathers and masks and, things that, are generally noted for Mardi Gras, and just, something that I can have in the house. And it was really more so a conversation piece for me because I want to be able to share that tradition, even though I'm not able to always go home to celebrate. So my friends here know, my kids know, that this is how we party, and that's how I kind of keep that tradition alive.
I love it. Everyone kind of has their own way to do their tradition. Maybe they don't have a parade in their hometown, but they want to keep it alive. And I think it's awesome that you do that. And that way it kind of shows your kids, and hopefully, your children that are watching here are celebrating some way, fashion, whether it's in school, whether it's putting on a mask or wearing the colors. Now, the colors, I want to kind of talk about this, Attorney Rochelle Guiton, because this is a big significance. So, like you mentioned, it's purple, what, you and I are wearing, green and yellow. So let's talk about that significance. I think it's super, super powerful. Purple signifies justice, which that's right up your alley, right? In your career path. Green signifies faith, which is also up our alley, right? And gold signifies power. Wow, let me tell you, like, I got the chills. Justice, faith, and power. Those are three amazing words. You couldn't ask for better. So I just want to ask you, what does that even mean to you? Those words hit home for me. What do they do to you?
I mean, when you just I have to, kind of mix in the factor of what Mardi Gras is and what it means to people back home and how important it is to be able to express ourselves in that way. And I mean, we already know, number one, that New Orleans is just like this huge melting pot of ideas and culture and all of that. And so to bring all of that together for Mardi Gras under, the guise of those terms, justice, faith, and power, just means a lot, that it's looked upon in that way, and to just remember that that's what it's about, and embodying that and those thoughts,
Yeah, I think that's super important. And we would love to hear what those words mean to you and how they hit home, whether it's to you, your community, your town, all that good stuff. So look, talking about some traditions, there's other traditions, Rochelle, that you've been a part of, right? I know you have your own traditions, but there's different types, right? There's costumes, there's a parade, the floats, the beads, the food. So tell us a little bit about these traditions and how grand they are.
Sure. So, of course, one of my favorites is king cake, and I still celebrate with king cakes every year. We always figure out a way to get a king cake. And I'm a little picky. I like Manny Randazzo's king cakes, and I'd love to hear if anybody's watching right now, that everybody just kind of talk about which king cakes are their favorite. Yeah. But of course, so you have the tradition of the king cake, and generally, they put the baby inside, and whoever gets the piece with the baby is the one who, has to throw the next party. Or, if you bring the king cake to work and you get the baby, you bring the next king cake. And then the tradition just keeps going on and on and on until Mardi Gras is over. And so you keep getting, all these delicious king cakes. And so that's one of the traditions. But yeah, there are the floats, the beads, and the Mardi Gras balls is also, a big tradition. And then when they have these parades together, it's a crew. So, you have the Zulu crew, and you have, the different types of parades generally represent different crews. And so they get together and they plan out their parade, and so they have their parade, the specific parade route that they would do every year that everybody's looking forward to. And every year, surprise us with the new float of what their themes are and costumes and fun things like that.
That's super cool. Look, I want to kind of talk about those things, but it kind of gave me the chills because, my background is my mom's Mexican, my dad's from the Caribbean. And in the Caribbean, they do something very similar, which is called Carnival. Carnival starts around, again, same time, January. It's a lot of parallels. The only thing is here, it's called Mardi Gras. There it's called Carnaval. Same thing. We call it the band, right? You go with the band, and it's a float with the band, the costumes. They release these costumes, Rochelle, a whole year in advance. They are a pretty penny.
Yeah, but they're beautiful. They're beautiful and they're elaborate, and it is just colorful and fun. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. So there's a lot of parallels, and it just reminds me of that, but they're very, similar customs and traditions. So speaking of the costumes, I mean, there's levels to it. You can, they cost money. I just want to remind you guys. So you can pick your simple one, and you can go to your elaborate with the feathers and
the headpieces and makeup, and it gets really elaborate and fun.
Yeah, and they have, like, just like you said, the crew. They also have certain seamstress that do the designs. This is a whole production.
It is.
I love it.
It's worth going or participating and watching if you can.
Yeah, watching or being a part of it, and if maybe one time you could do both. I think that's awesome. So can anyone, in your opinion, or based upon what you've experienced, can anyone create a float and be a part of the parade, or does it have to be crew specific? Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, so obviously I haven't lived there in a long time and participated in a parade in some years, but for the most part, I think you'll know someone that can kind of get you in with the crew, or it might be a parade that's a little bit more laxed and you can, it costs money. You would pay to be a part of the parade, or there's things, they do different things for the kids. Or I can recall, when I was in high school, I think there was a senior float for like the homecoming court. And so that was, our experience to be a part of the Lulin parade, and we would dress up and have our float and all that. If you dance, if you're on a dance team, if you're in the marching band. I was in a marching band in high school, and so we would march in the parade. And so there's other opportunities as well to be a part of a parade. And then, even the schools, I think, do things with the kids, even if they're in elementary school and they want to have them experience it. And so they would make their floats, using wagons and different little things like that. And so I think there's all different levels. And so you just have to find what fits you and have some fun with it.
Yeah, I think, look, those are great things and points that you bring up. And I think, like we said earlier, for you to be able to experience it in these awesome traditions, it just sounds like an amazing time. Whether it's what you enjoyed, the food, the costume, the drinks, the dance, there's something for everyone. I think that's awesome. Look, and something I want to kind of elaborate, you mentioned king cake. Now, I have heard from a little birdie that the king cake here we're in Houston, Texas. It's just not the same than in New Orleans or from, certain areas in Louisiana. Without calling anyone out, would you happen to agree? Yes or no?
So I won't call anyone out, but I have yet to taste a king cake here in Texas.
You won't even do it.
That I equate to the king cakes that I've had back home.
Wow. Okay.
So if anybody knows of any, let us know, because I'm always game to try.
Yeah, or any Louisiana restaurants that you guys may know that are local to your town, put them in the comment section. We would love to kind of see, and maybe one day we can kind of go do a taste test and kind of see how it compares. Yeah, no pressure for those that are out there.
Right. I'm in for a taste test.
Yeah, I think that would be cool and awesome. So I know we kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, how long does this holiday last? Like, is today the beginning? Is it the end? Tell us a little bit about how long.
Yeah, today is the last day. Mardi Gras is always the day before it ends, the day before Ash Wednesday. So today is the last parades will be rolling by. Yeah.
And look, that makes sense, right? Get your last partying in, because tomorrow head to church. It's Ash Wednesday, Lent season, all that, to repent, to focus, to fast, all that good stuff. So I get it. I think it was well thought out, right? So if you guys ever when in doubt, it's the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday. That's your last hurrah, which is called Fat Tuesday. Get it all in, because tomorrow
Right.
you're going back to normal.
And you have time. So if you start at the beginning of the year, it starts, I think, on like January 6th. The beginning of January is, when Mardi Gras would start. And so you've got a good few weeks to get in some partying and good time.
Yeah, you got a good chunk. That's almost like a month and a half. It's a long time. So for sure. Now, I want to ask you, what is your absolute favorite thing? If you have to pick one thing, what would it be when it comes to Mardi Gras? One thing.
One thing. I think that's hard. That's hard, but I feel like just being able to hang out with family and friends, like that would be what I miss the most. Like we had our traditional spots. So I grew up outside of New Orleans, but we had our traditional spot that we would go to, along St. Charles Avenue on Fat Tuesday. And I could remember being a little girl and my mom and dad would pack us up and we would find our spot wherever it may be on, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And we would find, and it just, the family would be there and we'd have good food. And what I remember for years, what we would do is we'd all hang out there for Mardi Gras and enjoy all the parades, and it'd be all family friendly, kid friendly fun. And then when it was over, we would all go over and hang out at my aunt's house, and she would have red beans and rice and fried chicken. So it was like, that was the tradition that we would go back and it was just time together to hang out. And keep in mind that as a student there, in grade school, we were off for Mardi Gras. So it was like vacation.
Ask you. So this is a holiday, like a school holiday for you guys.
Yeah. So it is essentially like a spring break. So they would, we would be off from school and that was, everybody just expected to celebrate for Mardi Gras.
Wow. That's super cool. That's super. We probably want to do that across the board. I would love to be off on Fat Tuesday and Mardi Gras. So everybody let's make it go.
Let's start a petition. Yeah.
Let's start a petition for sure. Let's make it a trend, something. Let's do something. So I think that's awesome. So look, as we enter kind of the month of March today, one of the colors is green. That's also the color of faith. It makes sense. Tomorrow's Ash Wednesday. But then in the month of March is also St. Patty's Day. There's green celebrated all month. And then there's also something for all our sports fanatics. And that is March Madness. So we are celebrating March at the highest of spirits today. We are very high energy, very happy because it's something amazing to celebrate. So look, Attorney Rochelle Guiton, we do something every month called heroic behavior. And I know you've been a part of this before. It's super, super cool. So it's time. We're going to be doing that today. So this month's giveaway, and I want you to kind of chime in, is college gear for your favorite college basketball team in honor and to be ready for March Madness tournament. It's still too early to determine who's going to be Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4. However, you represent your college. So you, my friend, went to college. I know you said it earlier, but I want you to say it again to represent your alma mater.
Oh, sure. So I did my undergraduate at Northwestern State University in Natchitoches, Louisiana. And then I went to law school at Loyola University.
Yeah. So everyone who went there or loves those schools, represent in the comments. I went to Texas State University, so all my Bobcats represent in the comments as well. I think this is awesome. So that's what our giveaway is going to be. We're going to get you all suited up from head to toe on college gear. So no excuse. Get your game face on. We're ready to celebrate this next season of March Madness. So Attorney Rochelle Guiton, I just got to ask you, are you ready to announce who the winner is?
Sure, yes.
All right, so we got something for you guys. Let's take a look.
Every month, all you got to do is like, share, and tag.
Okay, and the winner is Tommy Spencer.
Woo! Congratulations, Tommy. Make sure you look at your direct messages to claim your prize. We want to make sure it's you. We're giving it to the right person and the right address, of course. But look, for those of you guys that are watching that, it's like, it's Fat Tuesday. I never win. Don't worry. We do this every month. We already announced today what the next month's giveaway is going to be. So make sure you go look at our social media to see, and go ahead and do the 4 little things. It's absolutely free and it's real. You guys really win the gift. So I think this is awesome. For the month of April, we're going to be giving, Rochelle, you'll love this, a garden kit.
Oh, nice.
The gloves, the shovel, the seeds. So if you, even if you have kiddos, nice. You have a green thumb. Remember, green's our color. We're going to be doing a garden kit. I think this is super awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. So thank you guys for those of you guys that did the contest. But again, we want you guys to do the contest for next month. It's never too late. So look, Attorney Rochelle Guiton, we want to kind of wrap up today's show with Mardi Gras Fat Tuesday. So if you had to give any words of advice or any just last thing of what today means to you for those that are watching, what do you want to leave our viewers with today?
So you already know where I'm going with this, Mardi, and I'm going to end with laissez bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. So yes. Anybody out there celebrating, I hope they're celebrating for me, and just have a great time and enjoy.
Oh, I love it. You gave me chills and you said that so well. I love it. So thank you again, Attorney Rochelle Guiton, for being on today's show. We're going to have you in next shows as well. Also representing Louisiana, talking a little bit about more of a serious matter. But we are super excited to have an attorney like you representing all types of communities, and especially the one we're going to talk about next week, which is in the Louisiana area.
Thanks for having me, Mardi.
Yes, it's a pleasure. And for all of you guys that are watching right now, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. And most importantly, we want to thank you guys for sharing the show. The more you get to share the show, the more they get to see my crazy stuff. I'm just kidding. No, the more they get to kind of know a little bit about what we're doing in the community, some of the great stuff we're doing. And we don't want you guys to miss next week's show. It's going to be very important. There are going to be some sad matters, but we do have amazing attorneys to represent our community. And that is what we're here to give you guys, is the help and the justice that you guys deserve. I want to thank you guys all for tuning in to Talk to Me Tuesday on a Tuesday on Fat Tuesday. I'm your host, Mardi B. Till next time.